About to go live now. On live now. Plan.
We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. And we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes. Cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people that we know, and life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. Oh, oh, yeah. We only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people that we know, that life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life. Try to live a positive life anyway. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even stop on negative vibes, cause you won't make it, no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life
That's right. 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 I hope everybody's hearing me. Those that are hearing me now, please, 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 please press one if you can hear me on YouTube right now. I see that there's 12 people watching. And of course, tonight we're going to be speaking on narcissism part two. This is the second segment of narcissism part two. Last time we did it with Yendez, Priestess Yendez. This week we're doing it with the one, the only Miss LaToya Jackson. Now, I don't want y'all to mistake her for the original LaToya Jackson. Y'all might want to. But she's just as beautiful as the original uh, LaToya Jackson. But just want to bring up some things before we bring her on. We're going to bring up some stuff before we bring her on. And just want to remind you, those that are going to be in Georgia in the month of December, I will be there December 5th, 14th, and 15th. Confirming everything. Let me see my flyers. Yeah, so Thursday, December the 15th. Thursday, December the 15th. I'll be there Thursday, December the 5th in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So if you're going to be in Stone Mountain, Georgia, hey, bro, let's have some fun. If you're going to be in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and we're going to be teaching on Chakra 101 and numerology. That's Chakra 101 and numerology class with Jasmine Little teaching on the chakras and I teaching on numerology. That's going to be held at the Stillwell Emporium, and that's 945 Main Street. I'm looking on my phone right now, 945 Main Street at 7 p.m. on a Thursday, and it's on $35 for the whole event. That's $35. For more info, please call 445 4432. That's 404-445 4432. And you can go to the website to purchase tickets on that at www.justbegreat5, the number 5, justbegreat, the number 5.com. That's www.justbegreat, the number 5.com. Also on Saturday and Sunday, December the 14th and 15th in Atlanta, Georgia, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. So there's 2 days of what we're going to be dropping big time in Atlanta, Georgia. I believe it's going to be between Atlanta or LaToya. Don't quote me on that, but it's going to be the Priestess of the Home. I believe this is a women's workshop, but I'll be teaching on numerology, on food, and numerology as far as home and what to look out in the home and what to deal with in the home and how you should handle your home just being under certain numbers. It is a Priestess of the Home weekend certification level done by Queen Neat. Dr. Queen Neat will be doing that, of course, dealing with learning how to cleanse, do spiritual cleansing, spiritual defense. Also, we're going to be doing numerology for food and home and much more. Of course, we're going to have fun. Make sure you go to that website. That's www.healatlanta.com. That's www.healatlanta.com. And that's for Saturday, December 14th and Sunday, December the 15th. And just want to remind you, of course, if you want to get a call in, you want to call them, please call them for the 14th and 15th event. That's $199, I think, for both days, or $199 each day. I think it's for both days, but make sure, don't quote me on it, but I got $199 on her flyer, and you can call them at 1309 Heal Now. That's 1309 HEALNOW. It is now a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. Just came from the tribute on gala to Dr. Sabi, and ran, of course, Ma, his wife of the healing journey. Of course, his daughter was there. His 2 daughters was there, and the son was there. And it was a well turned out event. About at least 150 to 200 people. Great event. My son performed, Prince of Magic. I put it up on my Facebook already. I didn't put it up on my Instagram because it's going to cut it off because I don't have IGTV, quote unquote. Also, if you want to do a numerovation session with me, you're more than welcome to do it, and text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. I will put that in the description bar right now. That's 347-496-1022. And we can have a good old time with that. That's 347-496-1022. If you want to do a numerovation session with me, family. That's how it is. Numerovation session with me, and you will enjoy what I have to offer. Also, in this description, after this video is done, we will in this description, we will definitely have it in the description part of this. Um, all of the, of course, Cash Apps, PayPals, and all necessary things that you could do to contribute to help. And I want to shout out some people that has been showing some real love. Got to shout out Brother Alvin. Shout out Brother Alvin. He showed me some love on the Cash App. Thank you, Brother Alvin. And let me see, anybody else showed me any love on Cash App? And it's all right. I don't just do this for the finance. The finances, it comes, but Alvin Morris, big up to Alvin Morris. Big up to you, sir. Alvin Morris, big up to him. And those that have been doing numerovation sessions with me, there's somebody else I want to make sure I shout out because they've been showing me some love on the Cash App. So let me go to that folder right now. Gilberto, big up to Gilberto, sharing me some 444 love. Big up to you. And let me see, anybody else? Big up to, let me see, those are people that did numerology readings. Okay. So far, so good. Anybody else, whoever I missed, please I apologize to anybody that I've missed. But remember, my Cash App is $ King Simon 3158. That's King Simon 3158. If you want to show some circulatory funds and all that stuff, is beautiful. It's beautiful as always. Continue to keep us going, keeps us doing what we got to do. Keep up these events, keep up these classes to try to make sure we teach and have the materials that we have to help educate those who want to learn these great quote unquote mystery systems. It's really not a mystery to none of us if we really delve in within ourselves and learn to understand ourselves from those higher levels. So enough respect to those people that do want to do that. Also, we have this great person that's coming up, and she will be coming up in the next 8 minutes. She'll be coming up in the next 8 minutes, LaToya Jackson. Very good person as far as liaison with Legal Shield to help you with some legal matters, or even dealing with narcissistic people that you might have to have some type of court order against them or something. You know what I'm saying? She is that legal liaison for Legal Shield. She's also a medium herself. It's just that she's bringing it out. She's learning to bring it out because she's excellent with her intuitiveness. And like I said before, and when we was talking about bringing our sister on, I looked up the numbers for Michael Jackson and LaToya Jackson, his sister, LaToya Jackson. It's so ironic, and it's not coincidence. I'm telling you, this is not coincidence. Michael Jackson was born August 29th. And in numerology, 2 and 9 equals the 11. That's the master number. So once it goes to that 11, you try to stay on that master number 11. And that's why Michael was such a master at what he did. Also, LaToya Jackson, his sister, was born May 29th, which is also a number 11. And that's why she was a master at whatever she did. I know she was into the psychic stuff and all that. So she's very intuitive. She had her own little psychic thing going on. I think she still does in some capacity. But she and Michael definitely are powerful readers. And what is so interesting about that is that think about my beautiful sister, Janet Jackson. Now, Janet Jackson is born on May the 16th. And May the 16th, if anybody knows numerology or the study of numbers, 1 + 6 is 7, and 7 is also a very intuitive number. So they got a lot of intuitive people in the family. So I wouldn't be surprised if this LaToya Jackson is related by that family last name, just because how slave masters are. They spread their royal oaths. But I'm just letting you know that the Jackson family have a lot of intuitive energy and intuitive numbers that they share amongst themselves, and I can see that in the numbers. And this young lady, which is interesting to me because, like I said, LaToya Jackson is born, not LaToya Jackson. LaToya Jackson, the one Michael Jackson's sister, is born the 29th, which is a number 11. Michael Jackson, August 29th, which is 11, and then Janet Jackson, born May 16th, which is a 7. This LaToya Jackson is born on the 11th of one of the months, I think of July. Her sister is born on the 16th of one of the months. So it's so, that is not coinky-dink with the spiritual numbers going on. So I think it's very deep. I think it's very deep. I think it's very powerful. And I think this family needs to look in to see if they're related to Michael Jackson and his family. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put in my Cash App right now. This is my Cash App right now. That's King Simon, $ King Simon 3158. As we tend to bring in, we get ready to bring in LaToya in the next 5 minutes. Just want, of course, shout out. I'll be having. I was with Kaba Hiawatha too, Kamane, and I will be having him on my show. We're going to be having Kaba from Hidden Colors. He's been on every Hidden Colors series and the 1804, the Haitian Revolutionary series. And we're going to be talking about Kaba. We're going to be talking to Kaba Hiawatha, spirituality before religion. Spirituality is unseen science, and science is seen spirituality, by Professor Kaba Hiawatha Kamene. So we're going to have Kaba Hiawatha Kamene and talk about his book, because I'm reading his books and going through some of the information, and a lot of powerful information. So you can get this on Amazon or go to his website, Kaba Kamene, that's Kaba, Kamene, KAMENE.com. Also, he got a lot of free stuff on his website, so make sure you support the Baba. Also, got to big up a few people before I bring on LaToya, and I will announce LaToya in. Got to big up Dr. Layla Africa's new book. Got that too. Make sure you go to his website, LailaAfrica.com, LailaAfrica.com. Of course, Laila Africa is spelled LLAILA. Africa is AFRIKA.com. Make sure you get his new African Holistic Health textbook, thick ass book. Oh, it ain't no joke. He got a lot of new stuff. It's revised from his African Holistic book that y'all know for many years. I had the thin version. I remember when the version was like this. I had the book when it was this thin. Now look at that. That's when I had it when it's this thing. Now it's this thick. Go figure. Doctor always studies. So make sure you get all of his books. He got like 10 or 11 books on his site. So make sure you go to Dr. Africa's website and get those books. And let me see what else I want to big up and shout out. Some of my Babas, some of my elders I want to shout out. Of course, I got to shout out the Queen Elder, Queen Afua. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the Queen. Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of the Queen. Queen Afua, Circle of Wellness. She signed this book. You go to her website. I got to big up Queen Afua. Of course, that's www.queenafua.com. That's www.queenafua. Look how beautiful Queen Afua is, as usual. The Leo spirit is high and strong. Thank you, Angela, for sending that donation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Such a beautiful thing. Thank you very much. Cash App is the name, and sending the donation is the beautiful way we can serve each other. Also, this is my first book out. Make sure you go to Amazon and Kindle. Dr. Africa is my publisher. This is No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Just spell my name right. No Promotion is Bad Promotion. Get that. Also, this is Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's also a good book. And a children's book, which is also for adults, because all of us are children of the Most High, the Creator, children of whatever you want to be a child of. But this is the no Numbers Are Simple. Children's health is important. And those are good books to get on Amazon or Kindle, or see if you can get it on Dr. Africa's channel. So welcome, one and all, family. And in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to ask LaToya Jackson to come aboard, and let's have a good old time and speak to her. We're going to be speaking on something really profound today. Thank you, Angela. I do see it. Thank you very much, darling. I love people born under the name Angela. Y'all are so wonderful. Angela. I love Angela Davis. I love Angela, who's that? Angela Bassett. I love all of them. I have a friend that's a doctor that I think is also an Angela, so she helped me out too. Very good. And so big up to Angela, wherever y'all are. Big up to Angela Davis. That's her name. That's her name. Angela Davis. So big up to Angela Davis. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Oh yeah. So got to big up, of course, my girl. She's doing the person that we had on doing speaking on narcissism, also behind the mask. Well, she was speaking on narcissism, not behind the mask. We was talking about at that time last week. We was doing behind closed doors with a narcissist, and that was a powerful, powerful. Matter of fact, it is now boasting at least 850 views. Organic views, and I like to see that 850 or 835 organic views, 1 dislike. Okay, it's all good. You can dislike all you want. I ain't scared of y'all. I ain't scared of y'all. I ain't scared of y'all. But don't forget, Don't forget, Yandez is having a soft opening for her new store. A new store is happening on December the 26th. That's 12 noon to 10 p.m. at 357 Tompkins Avenue. It's 357 Tompkins Avenue, the corner of Madison. And it is called Ancient Blends Apothecary. That's Ancient Blends Apothecary. And that's going to be a soft opening, and the major opening is going to be in the spring. So big up to Yandez all the time. Yandez all the time. It's going to be a pop-up shop. So make sure you support our sister as she ventures off into opening the store again. And that's happening December the 26th on Tompkins Avenue at the corner of Madison at her new spot. She's going to have plant-based hair and body care products, bath, beauty, all that good stuff. So it is now 9 o'clock, and we want to welcome the one, the only LaToya Jackson. I believe she's already ready and muted and ready to come on in and have a good time. Okay. I see LaToya in the mother flipping building. Okay. That's what we do. She's looking good. I know she's related to the Jackson family, but she's part of that family. She's definitely part of the family. Big up LaToya. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Peace, Brother Simon.
Oh, yeah. What's happening? What's happening with you? You good?
Yeah, everything's all good over here, you know.
Oh man, well, we first of all, thank you and welcome to the show. After we did such a wonderful job with Priestess Yandez and what she dealt with as far as narcissist is concerned, I was of course compelled to bring someone like you on because we have spoken off air in regards to that before.
Yes.
But you seem to have gone real in depth with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
you're like a walking book. so especially and it's not to make light of it. I'm just saying, but
it's all good.
Sometimes, I think some of the best comedians are the ones that have gone through these type of traumatic things with people.
Right.
Like Paul Mooney and various other people that have done comedy, Richard Pryor, all of them, they always had some type of trauma behind them that made them, because if you started telling the stories about a narcissist, it would be comical to the world out there. But it was serious when you was in that situation, right?
Absolutely.
First, before we get into that, I want you to tell the world who you are. We got like 23 people already watching, and it's going to keep on going. Now, tell the people, who are you? I already said you was a liaison for Legal She, but I want you to explain all that you do and keep it moving. We're going to keep it moving after that.
Well, yeah, as Brother Simon said already, I have my own business where I provide legal services and identity theft protection. And the one thing that we were talking about in relation to this, and I know you mentioned this already, is that not everyone is going to be in need of my services, but there are going to be a lot of people out there who will. Mm-hmm. And there are people who are really in some tough spots with narcissists because they're married to them, have children by them. And, when things get really thick, they end up in court just like anyone else. And these narcissists, when they go to court, they could be really manipulative and get their way when they're there. And, a lot of families have gone through a lot of turmoil because, they come off as so charming and charismatic to the world. So, when you're in a situation like that, the tendency is to get emotional. So, of course, you need some representation that will take you out of the equation and fight for you so you don't have to get so wrapped up in that. So I think that, the service that I provide actually does help a lot in this vein as well. But, I do those, I offer those two services, and you're always telling me that I need to get into the intuitive part, the healing part of what I'm here to do. And I absolutely agree with you. So, soon come with that. We're working on it. We're going to work things out there.
And and she's an excellent painter and drawing artist also. I mean, she got so much talent. And I tell people about those master numbers all the time. Y'all are like eagles in the midst of chickens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. Y'all are like eagles that's supposed to soar as high as you want. Yeah. And they're like those chickens there, y'all be acting like chickens. Chickens don't fly now. I'm acting like them. Be you. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes it takes, I tell people that, even in my consultations, I always tell people that sometimes if you're not taught or guided into that because you never understood this, that's how. And what's so funny, you must have heard me when I say about LaToya Jackson and Michael Jackson being born on master number 11. And then their sister being born on the 16th and your sister being born on the 16th.
Yeah.
Very ironic. It's not a wiki thing. So
those,
say again?
No, I said it might be something to it.
Oh, it might be something to it. And when last have you traced back your bloodline to see if it connects to the Jacksons? It might do that. You never know.
That's something I plan on doing. I haven't done it yet, but that would be interesting to find that out.
That would be powerful. I think you should do it. I think you really should do it, because when numbers appear constantly in families like that, there is always a connection, because that's what we do is study patterns. And that's how you know that anything is a science, mathematics, especially mathematics, because usually people in these different sciences, whether it's computer science and all that, they deal with patterns. And when those patterns, I was like, it was popping in my head one time. I was like, whoa, she's born on 11, Michael Jackson 29, which is 11, and LaToya Jackson 29 is 11. I'm like, what the hell's going on with this? There's too much going on. Too much. So it's not coincidence to me. It's usually called synchronicity.
That's right.
And that's right. And that's what it is. So, okay, we're here now. We're here, LaToya. This is it. I've been talking to you about this for a while.
Yeah.
We're here. Now,
so do a deep dive, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'm about to put on my scuba gear and go in. To go in, though, and just if you don't feel comfortable answering the question, then you just dive around it and swim around it like sharks. Because I'm gonna be devil's advocate here. You know me, I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna have some fun.
All right.
So the name of this show is called when you gave me that title, I said, woo, that's the first title. I said, my gosh, I like this title. Narcissism behind the mask.
Yes.
Man, what now? How many, let's say, how many narcissists have you came across in your lifetime? Please, let's start with that.
Whoa. Honestly, I don't even have a number, because when I look back over it,
my water.
I don't want you to choke. Stay with me now. I honestly don't have a number, because when I first had it revealed to me and I look back over everything, I could see it spanning back even into my teenage years. Definitely in my adult life, I've dealt with some, in more serious relationships. There are about 3 or 4 that come to mind in my adult life alone. But I have narcissists around me a lot of times when I'm at work. And it's not just them being in the same workplace as me. It's just they have a tendency, they're like drawn to me and want to interact with me and have this, negative exchange. So it's work. There's some I recognize in my family. So it just seems like there's been this long line. But what really got me to this space is seeing that I have been involved more on a romantic side with several narcissists over the years. So just in my adult life, and I am sure it's more, but the major relationships, I would say about 3 or 4.
First, I want to say to the sister here that I'm happy that you able to come on, because this is not what she does. She don't come and show her face on too much stuff.
Yeah.
And so this is really a breakout thing for her. And I'm glad I'm able to bring that out, because it's going to take it to something else. It's going to take it into something else. Throughout your life, and especially in relationships, because I've noticed even with myself that usually people that we attract, we're supposed to either heal or at least give them some guidance to where they can go and get healed from, or get some type of direction. Or we either healing or getting hurt by them.
Right.
Because I think that there's these two different dualities that comes with it. And
Right.
you said something earlier in regards to them being able to, when they go to court, they could really present themselves like they're the most loving
Mhm.
thing. Or what? How did you say that? You said they can present themselves as what?
Yeah, they come off as very charismatic and charming,
Right.
so
Okay.
they get people on their sides easily.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Now, where do you think that they get that type of attitude from, where they can come off and actually pass this illusion to other people? How do they
I,
do that?
I think it's something that they learn and master in childhood, because a lot of times what people don't understand is that narcissism is something that it's a defense mechanism.
Hmm.
So, a narcissist is created and is usually from some kind of abuse or neglect.
Hmm.
So, if you as a child learn, because humans learn to adapt to any
Hmm.
situation. So
Right.
if you, for instance, have a narcissistic parent and you're trying to navigate a way that you can get that love from your parent, and you realize that you only get that attention and or love when you accomplish something, or
Hmm.
when you can get the world to look at you in a certain way, in a positive way, and the parent takes notice then. So that could be something that very early on, even on a subconscious level, you're like, oh, okay, if I do that, then I get this result. So I think it's something that they learn to cultivate over
Hmm.
time. So by the time they do become adults, they know how to be on,
Hmm.
in public. And
Hmm.
that naturally, because they're gaining those positive, outwardly positive traits,
Hmm.
they draw people to them and they get what they need to validate themselves.
So are they able to turn this on and off?
Yeah, to a degree, I would say yes.
Okay.
Now, some of them may not consciously say, I'm going to do this to get that. I think it becomes so ingrained in them
Hmm.
that it just is a natural thing to switch it on and off.
Hmm.
The one reason why I wanted to, like, I'm likening this to having a mask on is because when they're out in the public eye, they have very fragile egos. So it's very
Hmm.
important that they're always looked at in a brighter light, a high, you know what I mean? So that
Right, right, right.
people look at them positively. So they don't want to mess up that image in any way.
Hmm.
So with that being the case, is they can only really uh, let their true selves out when they're behind closed doors, where, with the ones that are closer to them, because it's an act, you
Hmm.
know.
It's an act.
So I think to a degree there is some consciousness with, okay, let me do this so I can get this result. I need people to look at me this certain way, you know.
Now, let me ask you a question now. You've been through, you said you don't even know the numbers because they've been in
Right,
jobs, they've been in family, they've been
right.
loving a narcissist. What, give me something, give me something that you went through by even loving or falling in love with them, and how
Mhm.
did it end up that you found out that this person was exactly what it is, what they were?
Okay, so let me take you to the last relationship then. So that was actually
I'll
several
drink to
years.
that.
That was several years ago.
Okay.
And I had been noticing on some level a pattern in my relationships.
Hmm.
But it was when I was in that particular relationship. And I would honestly have to say I'd never fell in love with him.
Okay.
But the emotions were high. It was definitely passionate. It was, because that's what happens in a narcissistic
Hmm.
relationship.
Hmm.
But I know when getting involved with this particular individual, you mentioned something about, when you encounter people that need to heal them if they're hurting, if they're
Hmm.
going through something, or it might be a lesson in it for you. But
Right.
if you are a certain type of individual, you naturally want to help someone if they're going through something. And
Mm.
this particular individual was dealing with a lot at the time that I met him. Of course, when he had his mask on, you wouldn't know how deep it was. It
Mm.
wasn't until he started letting me in, I started realizing like how much stuff was behind all of that.
Mm.
But I self-identify as an empath, and I have known that about myself for quite a few years.
Right.
So it's natural for me, especially to want to heal help people to heal and help them. I don't like to see people hurting, especially if you're close to me. I get very protective over those that I care about. So I naturally wanted to help this brother. So in everything that he was going through and all the hurt that he was experiencing, I made sure that he had my full undivided attention whenever we were dealing with each other. And I made sure that I was very attentive and, you know, checking in, that kind of thing. It starts to be all consuming. So that was what was happening in that particular relationship.
Would you consider them an energy vampire, so to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they are a toxic type of individual. They definitely are energy vampires because their whole narcissist's whole mission is to get narcissistic supply. They're parasites.
Narcissistic supply, what does that mean? Please.
Narcissistic supply, that is anyone that can offer them that energy. They feed off of energy. So if they can get a rise out of you, you know, they could start an argument and get you to, you know, to get all in your emotions and flip out. They take pleasure in that. They walk away from that encounter feeling much better about themselves when you feel depleted. So it's a pattern. It's all, people are objects to them. So it's always, I'm trying to go out there and feed. They truly are parasites and you're the host. So
wow.
In that particular situation, I didn't realize it at the time, but that's exactly what this brother was grooming me for. You know, I think there's something, they do sense something in the people around them. He saw my light. It's like moths to a flame, because he was watching me from a distance and, you know, studying me and trying to see what it was, what his end could be. And, you know, he used that to get closer. Wow. And once you start to get to the negative part of the relationship, you know, that's when you start, like, there's a lot, is emotional roller coasters, a lot of highs and lows, you know, so once you're going through that enough, if you're able to self-reflect, you know, you'll take a step back and be like, whoa, what's going on here? So I was able to do that in that particular situation, but a lot of people stay stuck in it because they believe they can help them.
You know, those that are just tuning in, we're speaking to Miss LaToya Jackson. Of course, we're speaking on Narcissism Part 2 because we did one with Priestess Yandes last week. This one is called Behind the Mask. I want to go back into time because according to, you know, Priestess Yandes and what she said, this narcissistic person she was dealing with was in the social media era. You've dealt with narcissistic people when they wasn't in the social media.
Right.
I want to go back into how they were able to check your whole lifestyle. How was they able to? I mean, they're like the government. They know how to, like, you know, they know all your algorithms and all that stuff to be able to mimic or do what they have to do towards you. How did the person take me back beyond social media? Because I know social media is deep now. You can have narcissists follow you on Instagram, Facebook, doing all kinds of craziness. Take us back beyond social media.
Right.
Tell me how one is beyond. How did they figure out to get to you like that?
Well, you know, if you think about it, before social media, those were more genuine interactions that people were having. Yes. So, you know, narcissists, they could follow you on social media and they're, you know, following your representative. You know, it may not necessarily be you, but, you know, social media makes the reach that much farther and easier. But when you were building relationships organically, offline, in person, you know, a person could just be in your general environment if they spend enough time around you, you know, because they watch you constantly. Right. So this particular person was around me more in business circles and things like that. So, you know, and interacting like that, you know, we tended to see enough of each other, you know, enough things were said. Enough of my actions were seen for him to be able to say, aha, you know, I know what I could do to get this one, you know. And when I think about it in the past, because it doesn't always have to be necessarily before they get with you. They could not have known you before that and get with you. But when they're talking to you, they're listening to what you're saying and whatever you like. Oh my God, you know what? I like that too. Or like, oh my God, what a coincidence. The same thing happened to me. So they mirror you so much that you feel like it's almost like a soul connection kind of thing.
Mm.
So
Now,
mhm.
let me ask you because Alex Little just threw up something that now can narcissists be very handsome and outgoing people?
Mhm.
So they can be very, and those are the most can be the most dangerous, right? The ones that
They generally tend to be, you know, a
very
lot of the
very.
all the ones that I've known.
Mm. Oh, excuse
they
me. You take the handsome, fine ass narcissist. Hey, I got it. I'm glad I ain't that handsome. I'm good.
But I mean, it doesn't hurt, you know.
Right.
They have the looks to go along with it. So yeah, I mean, they don't always have to be, but that doesn't hurt their cause, you know. But what I found more than anything is that they always position themselves to be like a center of influence. They can be very knowledgeable, have achieved a lot, you know, have a lot of successes. So they're doing things on a larger scale where people are looking at them like, oh my God, I want to be like, and they come off as the nicest people, you know, just so down to earth, so approachable. So yeah, that's absolutely the case in most cases, you know. So I would agree with that.
That's crazy. That is so crazy. But thank you very much, Alex, for dropping that. She said, "Oh, he was a Gemini too."
Oh Lord.
What's so
So
funny?
I mean, so what's that
Gemini's
for?
are ruled by the number 5, and I told everybody last week that 5 and 7s are usually known as that can attract the narcissistic energy. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
interesting.
It is very interesting.
Man, but I know you don't want to. I don't want to go too in depth with certain things.
Mhm.
Now, family members. Now,
Mhm.
how did you recognize certain family members could have been narcissistic? Were they females? Were they males? Which ones did you recognize to be narcissistic people?
Actually, a female and a male come to mind
Mm,
right now. But the most interesting thing is, even after I started to uncover this in my more intimate relationships, I didn't necessarily think about it with my family right away.
okay.
You know, um, and that partially is because I'm like the black sheep. I'm kind of off on my own anyway, so I'm minding my business. So, but you know, when you really start to think about how people in the family interact with each other, how they interact with their children, how they tend to try to get things from other people in the family. You know, uh, narcissists have an entitlement attitude. They
Mm,
feel like you're supposed to give to them, supposed to do for them. And I have a couple of family members who that is their whole being. Everything is you owe me, even though they put in no work to deserve it, you know? So
and
yeah,
how did you deal with that? How did you deal with that when you?
well, I have a tendency to distance myself.
Okay,
Um and as I learned more about energy, I'm not putting myself around anyone who's gonna my
protecting the
energy.
energy. That's right.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know what? I'll deal with you when I have to. Other than that, you know, I'll love you from a distance. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like if you have narcissists in your family, people will tell you, well, you know, that's your mother, that's your so and so. Like you don't have to. You're not obligated to be around toxic
Mm,
people.
right.
You know, they drain your life force.
Mm,
And when you have to deal with people like that, when they're constantly leaving you feeling like you're less than, what's the
mm,
point? I don't understand that. So,
mm,
I mean, if you can distance yourself from family, I say do it. You know,
mm,
sometimes you can't, but in that you would distance yourself mentally. You know, you may not be able to move out or get too far away, but learn not to take it in, you
right.
know, psychologically.
Right.
So they're not affecting you on an emotional level.
Now, what has been some of the psychological stress that a narcissist have put you through that you deem them like, yo, this one here is off the hook,
Yeah.
crazy. Please explain that story.
Okay.
One of them. You don't have to point out any particular, but one of them.
Well, I'm going to keep it to the same individual because it's
Okay,
easier. So
okay.
we're here.
It was
Um,
recent. That's right.
so I had to take a couple of notes just to make sure I got all, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
my
Go ahead, go ahead.
T's crossed. But yeah, with like I said, see the thing is when you start out with the narcissist, and I believe the sister you say Yendez,
Yes, he's on now.
I believe she touched on this during the first part of it with you, that there's a love bombing stage with the
Mm,
narcissist. So when they first get with you, everything is beautiful. You know what I mean? It's just
mm,
and because
mm,
they mirrored you and they mimic you, They act like they're going to give you the world. Everything is wonderful. They're always there. They're trying to be everything that the other individuals in your life haven't been. So that's what kind of gets you wrapped up, in their web, get you caught up in their web. So that's what happened. And it tends to move kind of quickly too. They like to move fast so that you can't think about what's happening. Right. You know what I mean? So that was like a quick, fast whirlwind. But I remember the first time that he went into a narcissistic rage, and it was something so small. We were like arguing over, I can't remember, but it was just like a difference of opinion about something. And right. It didn't start out as an argument, but where he took it to, it was just like, whoa. And, when you're in something new with someone, you especially kind of want to be on your best behavior. So it's like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe I said something, that I didn't mean to say. I don't feel like I was wrong, but let me be the bigger person and apologize. And that right there started that cycle of, positive to negative and the back and forth, arguments out of nowhere. So what I felt like when I was with him is that I couldn't say or do anything right. I felt like I was walking on eggshells all the time. It's you're having a regular conversation. You're just saying whatever you're saying, but then all of a sudden his demeanor changes instantly, and he looks like he's ready to fly off the handle, and he's telling you disrespected him. And you're like, wait, what happened? Like, I don't even know what I said. But right. Then it turns into this big thing, and they get very, very dramatic. So you end up in this space where you're always explaining yourself. That's the draining part, because it's just like you're talking. It's just like, well, I didn't even mean it that way. And as you explain more, they put you in a position to keep explaining.
To keep on.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, Yenda is here on the line. She says, when the devil can't get you, they'll send a narcissist. It's funny. They have a very dark side, she said. That's funny.
Yeah.
When the devil can't get you, they send a narcissist.
Yeah, I mean, some people truly believe that they don't have souls. I believe she was saying the last time that there's a disagreeable spirit attached to them. All of that, in Christianity, I think is likened to the Jezebel spirit. So there may be something to that on a metaphysical level.
Let me say first off, family, I'm going to give a disclaimer. I got to give a disclaimer, please. We disclaim any liability caused by the direct or indirect use or misuse of this information. None of this information is meant to take the place of an accredited, licensed medical, health, mental practitioner, all of that. Please, I want to make sure we are clear. All right? Is that good, LaToya?
That's all right with me. Yeah, I don't want anybody. I don't want to have to use my legal services.
Yeah, so you have to kick somebody backside with legal shield. You gotta use a legal shield and whoop you. You know what I'm saying? But on a serious note, back to what I'm saying that because we're doing this because the people like her and Yendis have gone through it, and let's be clear that it's not just men, it's women also that can have these narcissistic ways and that we might run into. And we want you to help yourself and find help or get some type of guidance, because a lot of you would say a lot of narcissists have really messed up a lot of people's lives in the past.
Yes. And they're doing it every day, and they're still doing it, and the thing is, we have to become more vigilant in recognizing it. So many people still don't know. Some people are in relationships with narcissists right now and don't even realize it. They don't even know the term. Listen, I'm a psychology. I studied this, and when I was in it, I had no idea. It wasn't until after the fact, and I looked, and I'm like, how did I miss this? You know what I mean? So it's easy. It's easy for you to get caught up. But
Alex, since you said you're a licensed and board certified clinician, and you prove all spoken, you can put your links inside my thing here. But I'm gonna, I just want to make sure if you're licensed to handle these kind of people, please help.
Yeah, go see Alex.
Go see Alex. Yeah, go see Alex Little. You know what I'm saying? Alex Little, put your stuff in there. I don't mind promoting other people. There's enough money and stuff to go around. If you can help people, this is what it's all about. Because I can only, when people come and do a session with me, and when LaToya gets into it, she'll understand. When people get to come and do a session, you can only take them but so far. That our pay grade might not go there. You might have to take them to the suicide hotline and mental health therapists and all that kind of stuff. That's why I commend people like Judge Lynn Toddler that's doing her mental health therapy, and people like Charlemagne the God, a cancer like yourself, he's doing his mental health therapy. And people like Wendy Williams been through it. So you got to understand that these things have to happen, and in order to help other people, that's why I'm doing this show. Not to say we're better than anybody. We're just trying to help guide and reveal and pull that mask, because it's behind the mask.
Right.
It's behind the mask. Now, when you gave me that title, I was like, I had to go find a mask and behind it.
That was perfect.
That was perfect. Perfect look. I said, man, because that is something that can be very scary. Because you, like you said, you might have a mother that is a father that's narcissistic. I have a friend of mine that is that towards a child right now, and the poor child is stressed out. Stressed out. And that is the problem. Now, how would you say that children can handle this? Who should they talk to if they find that their mother and father, because they're young people now that are more advanced now, and they picking up on these things. How do you think children should handle this from your point of view? Because I know you're not to do this, but from your point of view, if you was a child, well, you was going through it through your teenage years too, right? Would you say you was going through it?
I was going through it.
As a teenager, how did you handle it? Let's talk to some of these teenagers that's going to become 20 and all that. Let's talk to some of these teenagers. How you handle it?
Well, let's go even younger than that, because there are adolescents that are dealing with this too. And the hard part about it is, your parents are your parents, and a lot of times you don't have another outlet. So I mean, it would be harder for a child to go outside and seek that, because they don't necessarily understand why mommy or daddy is treating me this way. They're just doing whatever they can to get that love that they're looking for. But if you are an adult in that child's life and you see that kind of thing, I mean, every chance you get, you let that child know, like, this isn't your fault, baby. You know what I mean? Like, you give them that reassurance that there's nothing wrong with them, because they internalize it. They can take all of that in and internalize it as if they created the situation, but they don't know it's just something they were born into. So the thing is, if it's a child that's, has the mental capacity to go outside of the home, or maybe to another family member or something like that, they should try to talk to any family member that seems like they would be an ally, and that is a family member that sympathizes with their situation, that will always show compassion and empathy for them. That's they should talk it out, because then that adult can let them know, like, it's unfortunate, this is what you were born into, but that could be their respite, from that toxic situation.
Now, you've worked with children yourself.
Yes.
Do you seem to see this in amongst your different job descriptions, that you've worked with different children because you've worked with different children? Have you seen it?
Yeah, and we're hurting as a people. We really are. It's a lot of us out here that are going through so many traumas, and I do understand that trauma is handed down. People, we don't just start acting like this out of the blue. We are in an environment that is not natural to us. So we're taking on a lot of the characteristics of our oppressors, and that stuff is, we're taking that into our families, and we're passing it down through the generations. So I'm seeing that with a lot of kids, parents who don't take the time to give them the basic needs that they have, to tend to that. They're withholding love because they're too wrapped up in whatever's going on in their lives. Just not giving that reassurance, if a child is doing what they're supposed to do, not giving that encouragement and praise. Like, those seem like little things, but that's what kids look for, recognition is something they say, babies cry for it and grown men die for it. Even everybody in their life is looking for some kind of validation, right? So a child would be no different. They just don't have the capacity to say, you know, this isn't about me. An adult probably can do that if you have the right coping skills. But I'm seeing a lot of children that are becoming delinquent, getting caught up, you know, in bad sexual relationships, getting into drugs, selling drugs, being on the street, doing a lot of stuff like that because the homes are toxic environments.
And you say, those that are just tuning in, please share this video because it's very important to share this type of information. By all means, we're not licensed anything, but we do know that due to experiences, we can talk to sisters like LaToya and sisters like Yandez and help you and give you some type of direction of where you need to go. You know, I've in my sessions, people thought about suicide and all that, and I'm like, boom, y'all going straight to suicide hotline. They paid to do this. They got a free hotline. And usually, if you're not able to get therapy, then you need to find some type of family member that you can at least talk about it and release it. You know, now can parents create? Can narcissistic parents create narcissistic children?
Yes, they can. But a lot of that depends on the role that is assigned to the child. So stay with me for a minute. So if there's a narcissistic parent, and hopefully that they only have one, because if you have two, oh my goodness. Because usually if you have a parent that isn't a narcissist and they don't allow the narcissistic parent to just take over the household, they can be that respite for the child. But there's three different dynamics that you see a child get put into when they have a narcissistic parent. So one is the scapegoat, one is the golden child, and the other one is the invisible child. So you may not see like three children in the home that can fulfill all of those roles, but if they have children, they're going to be put into one of those roles. So a lot of times, the golden child, the one that's always praised, the one that's always put on a pedestal, even if they didn't necessarily do anything to be put on that pedestal, they a lot of times will end up being the narcissist, because now they're getting all this validation for not having worked for it. It's just the parent trying to pit them against the scapegoat. So of course the scapegoat is the one that's always blamed, always the source of all the family problems. They never do anything right. You're good for nothing, that kind of thing. So those individuals, they can become codependent. They will generally tend to grow up and end up seeking narcissists out as partners. You know,
they seek other narcissistic partners.
Yeah, well, it's not a conscious thing. If you've ever seen an abused person, like let's say that a child was physically abused, sometimes they grow up and they end up with a partner that will also physically abuse them. So it's not like they're saying this is what I want in my life, but it becomes what you're used to. It becomes your norm. So you end up getting caught up with people that will just further victimize you. So it's trauma that goes untreated can just perpetuate more traumatic situations. So that's all that you see happening. And with the invisible child, that child, they kind of fade in with the background, and they blend in with the furniture. That nobody's really paying them any mind. But the sad part about them is, like, you would think because they're not getting the narcissistic parents' wrath that they would be okay, but they're being neglected. You know what I mean? So they'll do things sometimes just to get that attention. That's when you see kids sometimes acting out just to get the parent to look at them. So it all depends on the role.
Okay. All depend on the role. Okay. Now, I got a hotline I just put up there. I just Googled it. They got a narcissistic hotline. They got a narcissist hotline. The hotline is 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. And the other one, if you speak Espanol, almost stop, you can call 1-800-787-3224. That's 1-800-787-3224. That is a narcissist hotline. They got another, I just Googled it. I got a narcissist hotline, like I got suicide hotline. This is getting real crazy nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
you have to have hotlines for a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a crazy situation.
Now, now multiple personalities, is that connected to the narcissistic attitude or any way, or multiple personalities, schizophrenia, anything like that? Would you, from your studies?
What I'll say is this.
Okay.
I think in a lot of personality or mood disorders and things like that, you'll find traits
Okay.
in each of them that are reminiscent of, traits that are assigned to other disorders, I should say.
Okay.
So and that's not unusual that you will come across that kind of thing, but they're not the same thing. Narcissists definitely have, I think, two different faces: what they show the world and what they show the people who they victimize. Those are the two different faces that they have. But someone with multiple personality disorder, I believe they call it dissociative identity disorder now. But someone with that, you could have up to 10. It could be, they call it multiple for a reason, and these personalities all serve a different purpose for you to be able to cope with different traumas that you've experienced coming up. So there's different psychological breaks that create those personalities. So to me, it's different. It's different. So that's why they kind of categorize things the way they do. You would have to have a certain amount of, things persisting over a certain amount of time for it to be classified one way or another.
Now, have you ever, in as far as dealing with the legal shield, have you ever had to deal with any narcissistic case or hearing about that type of abuse? Because it is abuse in some form.
Right. As far as like people needing the service.
Needing the service for that.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I've done this for about like 15 years now. So, and it's funny because with my field of study, I always ran away from counseling because I didn't want people telling me their problems and stuff all the time. But the funny thing is, I could be in a grocery store and people come to me and start telling me their problems. So definitely with doing Legal Shield, whenever someone seeks out my services, a lot of times there's something that they have going on. So they'll be telling me about, a partner who is trying to manipulate, and there's the issues with the kids, and they're trying to take the kids, and a lot of times they don't want the kids. It's just a way to hurt them. And people will go all in with their personal business when they're going through it like that. But yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it quite a few times.
And wow, that I mean, you've seen a lot in your short lifespan on this earth.
God bless you. Everybody is short.
You're the young lady, you're the young lady.
Yes.
You like
young
that. No, I say, because, everybody, you're looking at you and people like the young days, y'all just don't look like any of your ages. So it's just a beautiful thing to know that y'all are still maintaining yourselves and handling, even though y'all went through, going through multiple ones, and her just going through probably the one and probably didn't recognizing the others in the past, but just going through the one. But you going through multiple, they can drive you to old age.
Right. Yeah, it absolutely can. It absolutely can.
Now,
but sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You said,
well, you asked the question earlier with how did I discover it and get out of it?
Yes.
And it really was through self-reflection for me. Okay. I didn't have the luxury of asking someone and then telling me what it was that I was going through. A lot of people didn't understand when I did talk to them about it. So I had to go within, and I asked the universe, like, listen, I needed to be revealed to me why I keep attracting this type of person. And I've actually said it to people before. I felt like I was attracting the same guy with a different face, like over and over again. And it's funny because now I don't remember exactly how it was revealed. I just know it took just a couple of days and then it came to me. I don't know if it was like an epiphany where a light bulb went on, but it came to me that I was dealing with narcissism. So I did a deep dive at that point. I just started going online and reading things and watching different videos and everything. And that kind of stuff was very reassuring. It was validating. It confirmed a lot of the stuff that I thought was happening, but I wasn't quite sure on a conscious level. that ultimately freed me. That was freeing. Like knowing it, putting a label on it, and understanding what I could do to get out of it. And there's a couple of different ways that people can get out of those things. For me, it was going no contact. They said the best way to get away from a narcissist is to go no contact.
No contact.
And that means cut everything off, block them, from your phone, social media, if you have to stay away from certain people because you run in the same circles, put that distance there. If you could do it on a permanent basis, that's good. But for mine, I just had to do it over a period of time so I could heal. I just needed that time and space to heal. So now I could be around him and it's nothing.
Now, did you let family members know that you was going through this also, or you kept it to yourself?
I kept it to myself more than anything. I'm not in that space now with my family where I feel like some would understand or others would even care. I've over time, I've owned my loner personality. So, it is what it is. I will talk to certain friends who I deem as family though, certain sisters I have, I will talk to them. But for the most part, I did a lot of self-study and that was enough for me, some people, you go through it so much, you need that therapy. And I would say, if you need the therapy, don't be ashamed, go and get it. Anything that you need to help you.
Okay, but people, we're speaking to Miss LaToya Jackson, liaison for Legal Shield Services. If you want any Legal Shield services, do you have a website people can go to, so I can throw it right up in on my my board here? What's your service?
I do, and they go there and they want to get more information, they could just email me from the website, but it's LaToya D Jackson.
Hold on one second, LaToya D Jackson.
.com.
Ooh, go ahead, girl. .com.
I had to put the D in there because the original LaToya Jackson, she got hurt.
Yeah, she wants to sue and all that. She wanted to sue.
You snatched up domain names, so you know how it goes.
Yeah, some of them domain names costing a lot too, boy. LaToya Jackson, when she had a little psychic thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
Woo, that was my girl. She's like Cleo to me.
You can't be mad at her. She gets her hustle on.
Yeah, get her hustle. I just put it in LaToyaDJackson.com, correct?
That's correct.
I wanted to ask, beyond, now that we're in the social media area, I know Yenda's just put up there, and I think somebody else just put up there that social media it's a breathing ground for this type of stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I think it makes it much easier for people to extend your reach. You're able to reach out to a lot more people in a shorter amount of time. So yeah, it's definitely a breeding ground. Yeah,
and now being that you're an empath, of course, and very intuitive, also your numbers dictate that to your life path. It all dictates all that, even your sign. So it all dictates that.
Yeah, it's all in there.
How is it now? How is the relationship now? I want you to be empathetic to the narcissist. Let's say you put your feet in their shoes. What was it like? What was it like dealing with you from his point of view? Let's put it like that. From his point of view.
That's a good question.
I know I'm gonna get you.
Well, if you ask the narcissist, they're gonna say, because remember, you're an object to them, so they don't even see you as a person. So it's not like they're looking at me and dealing with my personality like, oh, they'll say certain things, but at the end of the day, you're just a means to an end. I'm just trying to feed off of you. You know what I mean? So if I'm being difficult and I'm not allowing you to get that supply, then you'll be telling everybody like, oh, she's so hard to deal with, so on and so forth. But I don't really see them as dealing with people on the same level, like the way you would deal with another human being as a human being. They don't necessarily do that. So they'll tell you some things that they don't like on the surface, but at the end of the day, it's I don't think it's in the way that most people would think. They wouldn't have that same, they don't have that same mechanism.
Now, when they get caught up in a lie, do they back off for you if they get caught in lies and all that kind of stuff?
Oh no, they double down.
They double down, really?
Yeah, narcissists do not admit when they're wrong, and they will make everything your fault. So I mean, if you're wrong, they're gonna. If you're right, they're gonna find a way to make you wrong. And even if it's something that they can't wiggle out of, it'll be like, well, you made me do that. You caused that. It's all your fault. If you hadn't done X, Y, I wouldn't have done Y. So they never take ownership for what they do. They have to get it off of them. You have to remember that with them having fragile egos, they can't take any kind of criticism or failure or anything like that, because that puts a crack in that veneer. They got to walk around looking all shiny and everything. So, you can't be putting any kind of chinks in their armor. That's not a good look.
You can't do that, huh?
No, they're not. They're going to get that off of them real quick. I mean, it's frustrating when you're having those conversations, because, anybody that you're dealing with, if there's something going on, if I'm talking to you and you wrong me in some way, and if we have that kind of relationship where I feel like I can talk to you, when I come to you and I say, look, King Simon, when you did this, you hurt me. Right. And I felt this way. Right. I'm looking for you to acknowledge, even if you don't necessarily feel like you meant to do it or that you were completely wrong, just acknowledge that my feelings were hurt and that you may have had something to do with it, and that you may be able to do something different moving forward. Right. They don't necessarily do that. And anytime a narcissist does, they're usually trying to set you up for something else. So beware of that.
What's so interesting, what she just said, is that, me and her know each other for a little while. And although I learned about empathy, it was this woman that made me look it up. Made me look up the words. I don't have an ego like that I can't go and research, and because I didn't understand it. And I'm admitting it to the people right now. I didn't understand this thing called empathy. And, you hear it here, you hear it there, you hear it from Ian Levine-Zant, you hear it from all kinds of motivational people. But I never took to look it up, because some of us just think we already know what it means. This word empathy. But it was you and one of our conversations that made me look it up. And, we met back, 2012, 2013, when we met, Phil Valentine.
2014, I think.
13, 14, yeah. So you made me look it up and really, really delve into it, so I can look at myself and not be considered one of these assholes called a narcissist. I thought you had to, because once you're willing to apologize and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes they would apologize, but now are they the type of person they apologize and still do the same bullshit?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, the narcissist that I was telling you about, if he ever got around to apologizing, he would find a way to do the thing that he did before. And then when you talk about how he did the same thing that he did before, he has an excuse. Or, he'll find a way to flip it around and be like, so you don't do anything wrong? These are the conversations that you have. Like, he clearly did something that caused the problem right then and there. But when you go to have the discussion, somehow he will flip it around and be like, oh, so it's always my fault, right? I'm always doing something. Okay. So then it becomes one of those things where now they get you into this circular type of argument where by the time everything is said and done, you don't even know what you started arguing about in the first place. You're drained. They have all this energy and you're walking away like, what the heck just happened here?
That would be a good comedy show, two narcissists. And that would be a very interesting reality show, or comedy show, just to watch them interact with each other. Now, who would you say that on television or in media would remind you of a narcissist?
You know who's a narcissist? Easy example is Trump.
He's a Gemini. He's born on the 14th.
Isn't he a number 5 too?
Yes, he's a number 5 and he's a Gemini.
Oh, Lord, yes. And look, and the thing is, I've studied him a bit. If you look back over his life, he got it. He got the daddy issues, never got that validation from his daddy. So he's always seeking that. Right. If you look at how he interacts with people, he never admits when he's wrong. He makes his wrongs right. And his wrongs are really wrong. He will have a full out tantrum in front of the whole country when he doesn't get his way. very childish in his dealings with people, and just I mean, he would be a textbook case. And some people may argue where he falls on the spectrum, or maybe if he's a sociopath or something like that, but that's all in the same family. So yeah, Trump, I would say that he's the easiest one to point to.
That is one of the easiest. Yeah, I mean, how about, let's go back in history. Can you pinpoint? I know Napoleon could probably be one.
Oh yeah,
Napoleon definitely
oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, they named the whole complex after him, right?
Yeah, but what's so funny? A person on social media said something very interesting. He said Jesus might have been one.
Oh.
That was,
well, what's
Jesus
about
that?
About
to say, who's Jesus?
I'm not gonna say whether that could be true or not, but what I would say is this: certain individuals find themselves in certain professions because it feeds their narcissism. So a lot of people in the clergy, could be narcissists. You know what I mean? They'll find themselves in certain positions because they'll get all of that supply that they need, the admiration, people just constantly showering them with that praise and things. So that wouldn't be the most outlandish thing.
Yeah, well, from his perspective, the way he explained, he was with Blue Pill when he was talking about it, and I was like, oh, because the way he explained it was very interesting. And I said,
I would love to hear that.
Yeah. I think I got to find that. I think he's probably took it down because he probably did it on Instagram. He didn't do it, that's taken down like 24. Somebody said Charles Mason. Yeah, definitely Charles Mason. he's something, Crowley.
Wait, Manson? Charles Manson?
Charles Manson, yeah.
Yeah, he's a serial killer. Well, he's a psychopath.
Yeah, he's also a psychopath.
He's levels beyond.
And that's right. His life path was a 22-4, which is interesting. Yes. Oh my gosh. So that also rules cycle and things like mental problems and all that. Well, I'm not gonna keep you. We're right before the hours. I just want to make sure that everybody got to hear this. This was a very, very enlightening show as far as this. And I want to have a panel with all of you one day to finish it off. My third final installation of this. I'm trying to get a doctor. I'm working on this doctor and trying to make it happen. And I contacted Christian Northrup. If she don't come, I'm gonna try to hit up Dorothy Harbour, who wrote Energy Vampires. Let me just show the two books right now. But shout out your website again, darling. Shout out your website.
Okay, so my website is LaToyaDJackson.com. LaToyaDJackson.com. And if you need more information regarding my services when you get there, feel free to email me, and the email link is on the website. Okay, the email is on the website. That's LaToya D. Somebody said Nature Boy. Leave me. Y'all are something else. Lord, I ain't going there with y'all. Y'all are not getting in these guys trying to attack me on my channel. This is a child-friendly channel. If my grandchildren can't watch me while I'm talking, I can't show this. I'm not about that. So let me just show y'all the books that I got. This one is called Energy Vampires. Very good book, practical guide for psychic self-protection, written by Dorothy Harbour. Very good book. I've given this book out 3 times. One of my friends, she passed on, but she was going through some psychic stuff and some energy vampire stuff from her husband and all kinds of. She transitioned. End up that whole energy stuff took on to become cancer, and she became a cancerous person, and cancer took her life. May she rest in peace. I gave her this book, Energy Vampires. That's a good book. Also, this other one by Christian Northrup, MD, New York Times bestseller, Dodging Energy Vampires, an empath's guide to evading relationships that drain you and restoring your health and power. Another good book. So y'all think about getting these books and and showing that love and making it happen. So what's your social media? You want anybody to hit you up on social media, on Instagram or anything? I should have thought about that. Well, on Instagram, I believe I'm melanated_warrior goddess. Okay, that's I think I could find that, but it said melanated_warrior goddess. I'm going to try to double check that. Yeah, before I put it up, warrior goddess. I don't look at my own profile too much, so goddess, and that's
See, Ancient Blends, yeah, Ancient Blends, Apatha Care, Apatha_care. You can check her out. Hit her up on IG. She's on there. She just posted up on her thing. And don't forget, she got a soft opening coming up on December 26th in Brooklyn. So make sure you support that. You found it, Warrior?
Yes,
Melanated Warrior?
yes, Melanated Warrior Goddess. So MELANATED underscore Warrior Goddess, all one word.
Okay, let me make
And that's
sure.
on Instagram.
Yeah, that's on Instagram. That's your IG. You want to give your Facebook or no?
Sure. On Facebook is easier. It's LaToya Warrior Goddess Jackson.
Okay, so that's LaToya Warrior Goddess.
Warrior Goddess is all one word there too on Facebook.
LaToya Warrior. Warriors come out
I just
play.
Just two things really quickly, because I know people that are going through it, they're seeking, they're looking for help. So one thing that I was saying was to go no contact if you can. But if you're living with a narcissist that you can't get away from, there is something called the gray rock technique. And that's something where you find a way to not give them any supply. When they're trying to get a rise out of you, you learn to respond, not to react. Stay calm. Don't get so caught up in the moment. Give them less of a verbal response.
Right.
That kind of thing will take away from what they're trying to do. You're slowly taking their supply away, and they'll get bored with you.
Wow.
And I would also say avoid calling them out, because depending on the level where your narcissist is, first of all, they lack insight and they're not going to own it anyway. So you're going to find yourself in an argument with them and they're just going to end up getting supply from you. Right. But if you have a narcissist that tends to get violent, you don't want to cause that injury to their ego. So, protect yourselves. Just make sure that you're not causing any kind of issue because you found out what it is and you want to let them know, because you can't help them. So.
Well, hey, look. I want to thank you very much for being a part of this journey and this series.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
It was fun.
Appreciate love. Can't wait till your book come out.
Oh yeah, I got to get to writing.
You gotta get the writing and putting your art to it and all that kind of stuff. You got a lot to accomplish, girl. Stop playing. Just make it happen. All right, so my dear, thank you very much, and send salute to your moms. Also, enough respect to her, your dear mother,
I will.
And everybody in your family, your dear sister, and your nieces and nephews.
I'll let them know.
And we'll talk when we get a chance, and we'll speak later if anything. And thank you very much again. All right, you know how to cut yourself off from here.
Yes, I will. I'm gonna get it together. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll catch up with you. Okay.
All right. One love. Take care. Peace.
All right. Peace.
All right. That's our girl, LaToya Jackson, not Michael Jackson's sister, but they might be related. I can see these numbers manifested like that. I can see these numbers happening just like that, the way her numbers correlate with Jackson family and her sister, which is interesting to me. I study this stuff, but want to thank everybody for tuning in. Remember, if you want to find out any more information, want to get a bio about me and all that kind of stuff, or about her, you can go to her website, www.latoyadjackson.com. That's LaToya, LATOYA D, the letter D, Jackson, JACKSON.com. That's LaToyaJackson.com. Of course, on IG, you can hit her up at melanated_warrior goddess on IG, and on Facebook is LaToya Warrior Goddess Jackson. Don't forget, Yendez is also, she was on with us last week, and that's at Ancient Blends, Apatha _care, and also go to a plant diary, house plant diaries, also on IG, and also Yendez Neferatum on Facebook. Once again, family, we had such a lovely time. I am so proud to know these beautiful women that are doing great works in our community and those that are rising in our community. If you want to hit me up, also on PayPal, if you want to send a donation, you can go to KingTime, www.paypal.me paypal.me/King Simon. That's paypal.me/King Simon. Or we can do it easily. Cash App is all. I want to thank all those that already sent me some Cash App. Thank you. Thank you. Of course. Hey, wow, Yenda sent me a Cash App. Love you, girl. Thank you. So nice. You're so nice. We keep on circulating these funds and come back to you in abundance. Man, I was circulating some funds at this place the other day. And guess what? I made double the funds because I circulated with our people with their vending and all that. I circulated $200 and $400 to $600 came back to me within 3 days. I was like, whoa, this is how it works. Thank you, Reverend Ike, for teaching me that. Reverend Ike, man, Reverend Ike was doing it, matter of fact. He was teaching. So big up to Yandez that sent me a donation. Big up to Angela that sent me a donation. And big up to Alvin Morris that sent me a donation. So big up to all you beautiful people. And I want to shout out, of course, yeah, Yandez on Facebook and Houseplant Diary. That is your stuff there. And I want to thank Ma from Fig Tree. We had a wonderful fourth year gala and tribute to Dr. Sebi today. What a beautiful tribute. His daughters was out there, not all of his children, because he got a lot of children, but his daughters was out there, two of his daughters, his son, some of the grandchildren was around there too. And my son performed with Zach, the saxophone player, not the saxophone, with the trumpet player, with Zach. My son performed an excellent song. Big up to Prince. I'm gonna have to interview my own son on this because his music. I just want to wait till he gets his music out, and I want y'all to go to a SoundCloud, Prince Imagine. And I think my music is on his SoundCloud too. I think 2 songs are on his SoundCloud, and it's called Prince Imagine. Go to soundcloud.com/I think Prince Imagine, and you can also hear some of my music on there. You got Black and White Story and Respect and Protect the Black Woman. That's some old stuff from the 90s, but it's still prevalent for today. Still relevant for today. Relevant for today. Still relevant for today. So thank you, my son, and all the people that came through. One of Dr. Sebi's best friends, Alonzo, was there. Also, big up to Mr. G, who was there. Y'all know Mr. G. Mr. G got that Dr. Sebi book. That's fire. That's www.drsabi504.com. That's www.drsabi504.com. He was there filming the whole thing. And look out on his channel at Dr. G's Photos. Look at his YouTube channel. He's going to be posting up this numerology breakdown that I did, and he's going to be posting out my documentary on his YouTube channel. So we're going to get some exposure, and people are going to watch what's up. So that book is on point. You're right. The book is on point. In the background, of course, my book, of course, No Promotion is Bad Promotion. That's on Amazon and Kindle. Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. That's on Amazon and Kindle. And Numbers Are Simple, Our Children's Health. Children's Health is Important. That's on Amazon and Kindle. And I look out for the interview I'm going to do with Baba Kaba Hayawata coming up soon. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be interviewing Baba Kaba Hayawata. We'll be interviewing about his new book, Spirituality Before Religion. That's going to come up. And I got to big up, of course, the big events. I'm going to be interviewing Jasmine Little, Chakra 101. I'll be doing that in Georgia. So if you're going to be in Georgia, family, if you're going to be in Georgia, I'm going to be there for at least half of the month before I head down to Miami, to Florida, because I'll be in Florida during the New Year's. I'm not dealing with none of this cold stuff. But if you're going to be in Georgia, I'm telling you, family, you want to be down there December the 5th and December the 14th and 15th. So December the 5th, I will be in Stone Mountain with my beautiful sister, the one, the only Jasmine Little. And that's going to be at Stone Mountain at Stillwell's Emporium. And that's 945 Main Street. For more information, you can call 404-445-4432. That's 404-445-4432. That's only $35. It starts at 7 p.m. That's Thursday, December the 5th. And if you want to get tickets, you can go on tickets, get online and go get that www.justbegreat5.com. That's www.justbegreat5.com. And for Saturday, December the 14th and 15th, I'll be in Atlanta or LaToya. I think it's between those two places we're probably doing, but it's a 2-day, all-day workshop and all that kind of stuff, weekend certification level called the Priestess of the Homes. I think it's only for women. But Queen Neat is hosting that, my dear Dr. Queen Neat, or Queen Dr. Neat, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I think she's going to be taking 3 hours. I take another 3 hours, and there's a lunch break. I think it's food included, all that good. And she's going to be teaching on learning how to cleanse your house, spiritual defense, especially before we go into New Year's. And I'm going to be breaking down numerology of numbers, numerology of food and the home, and much more. I'm definitely going to get into birthdays and your connection and all that kind of. I got to give you the simple. I got to give you the basic. I keep on dropping it for you, so you know how we do. And if you want to find out tickets for that, that's $199 for those tickets. I think it's for both days, $199 for those 2 days. And the website is, sound like Flavor Flav, right? www.healatlanta.com. That's www.healatlanta.com, and the number is 1309 heal now. That's 1309 heal now. You want to hit me up on all social media, please do so. That's King Simon Productions on Instagram, King Simon Prod on Twitter, King Simon Productions on Facebook, King Simon on Facebook, MC Simon. And hey, just Google me, you'll find a Numerovation all over the place. Okay? And that's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, kingsimonproductions.eventbrite.com. Hit me up, and make sure you do a consultation with me. Do a consultation for your 2020 going forward. This is another decade we're in. This is the 20th year in the 20s, in the 2000s. So let's keep on taking you to next levels. Don't worry about a thing, like Bob Marley said. People don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. And like I said in my song, look, we only have one life to live. Let's live it positively. Let's live it focused. Let's live it, help the children, because a lot of, there's a lot of things going on with our young people too. There's a lot of depression going on. A lot of this is going on. So let's help to rise their morale and their attitude and their mindset. I'm striving to do it with my children and my grandchildren. We don't want them to be stressed out like they're a bunch of old people. They may be old souls coming in to do some great work, but we got to make sure they're on them. They got to let them be children. Let them be children. I've told y'all I almost hurt myself when I was 8 years old because people wasn't letting me be a child. They want to dog out this and say this about me, And I want to commend the people that come up and show me love and say, King Simon, you're a good brother. They heard what I said on Sonetta's show and all that. This brother had locks. He's born December 24th. He came and gave me a big hug at the Dr. Sabi event. Him and his, I think 4 children and his beautiful wife. She's born on the 11th of one of the months. But I told him, I said, listen to her because she's very intuitive. And I said, told him to stop being hard-headed, because I know sometimes number 6s can get real hard-headed. You're loving people, but you gotta maintain your balance. You gotta maintain that balance and love, balance and understanding, especially when you're dealing with your queen and your empress and all that. So I understood. I seen it. I didn't want to give him nothing quick because he wanted to get into something. I said, no, I'm here to enjoy and walk around and be connected with the people. But I dropped something real quick on you, something to keep your mind motivated so you can keep your relationship tight as much as you possibly can, and do what you have to do. Love your people, but most of all, love yourself. That's what Dr. Sabi taught. You will not be able to heal yourself with any of these herbs, whether it's allopathic, whether it's homeopathic, whether it's naturopathic, whether it's any of those things, unless you really and truly love who you are. That's what it's about. You got to love you. That's why Dr. Sabi wanted to set up the Bolingo Project. Bolingo is one of those African words that means love. Love, but love starts with you. Stop playing. All right, I'm out of here. King Simon's out of here. Regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. And in the immortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, which I have his book up here, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. I'm out of here with this beautiful song called You Only Have One Life to Live, written by me, remixed by me, and rewritten by me back in the 1990s. Thank you very much. And it was produced by Jammin's Production, Jammin's Studio, King Jammin's. One love. Peace.
We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. We only have one life to live. And we ought to live it. Don't even strive on making it survive. Cause you won't make it no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. We only have one life to live. And we have to live it. Don't even stop or negative vibes. Cause you won't make it no matter what they say. We should always try to live a positive life anyway. We all know time is running out every day. The people they know, life is not a game that we play. If you're not sure about this test, I want the whole world to confess that we all should try to live our life the best way that we can. So I know we only have one life to live, and we have to live it. Don't even strive or negative vibes, 'cause you won't make it no matter what they say. You should always try to live a positive life anyway. Oh, yeah.